We're joined by Lavinia Osbourne, founder of Women in Blockchain Talks. Lavinia, thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you this morning
I
or
am
this afternoon?
brilliant.
Brilliant.
I'm brilliant, thank you. Yes. Just firstly, Lavinia, would you be able to talk us through how Women in Blockchain Talks, the platform, came about and the work that is being done through that platform?
Sure. So, Women in Blockchain Talks was started in 2019, and we generally work with global, professional, and entrepreneurial women who are in tech, of course, and in business, but or work in corporate C-suite level. And the objective of Women in Blockchain Talks ultimately was to showcase the women who were already in blockchain, because representation matters, right?
Mm.
And sometimes we need to see in order to not just believe, but to believe that we can also walk the same path, or that there is a path available for us to walk. And so when I started Women in Blockchain Talks, I said I wanted to be the Oprah of blockchain and interview these dynamic women, these leaders in the space. Some of them were entrepreneurs, some of them were co-founders, some of them were also professional women who had joined exchanges such as Coinbase, some of the big names in Web3. And as the year has progressed, of course, we had COVID, so I had to pivot online. So it was an in-person event, and then we pivoted online, and that helped me to grow on a global level. So right now, the objective of Women in Blockchain Talks, to make it super succinct, is to give the skill sets and the understanding and the training to these women leaders in whatever capacity that is, so that they can be the confident leaders of tomorrow, of this emerging tech that is happening right now. It's not coming, it's happening right now.
Of course, that's great. And would you say it provides a platform for possible role models for women looking to get into the technology in the near future as well?
Of course, 100%. I mean, we've been active, like I said, since 2019, and we have different role models there, and also mentors. People can go on there, but it's a case of, you get what you put in. So meaning that we have a free community, because one of the things that blockchain for me stands for is about accessibility. It's about removing that gatekeeper, that intermediary. So if you're removing that gatekeeper and that intermediary, which has been a block for many women leaders and potential leaders, because I think for many women, they're leaders and they don't even know, or the confidence has been taken out of them, or they just need someone else to believe in them. Like I needed someone to believe in me in order to create Women in Blockchain Talks. And so, there's a free community. And so accessibility is super important to me, and this is one of the reasons why I try and we have put some of our material in different languages, because when you think about business and when you think about technology, most of the language it's created in and shared in is English. So how do we truly create diversity and inclusion when everything is always in the dominant language of English? So I'm very mindful about what accessibility means. It's not just about removing the gatekeeper, which is what blockchain does, but it's also about creating a community that anyone can join, add value to other people, receive value, and also how can we, and that could even look like translating some of our material into a language that they speak. And in doing so, they're getting to learn, because when you're reading and you're doing research, you start to understand, oh, okay, that's what that means. And also these are the players in the field. Let me see if I can make contact because I'm interested in that space. So I really think one of the areas about blockchain that I really appreciate and speaks to my character is proactiveness. You've got to be proactive, and you've also got to have a mindset of giving. It's not just about what can I get from this, it's what can I give back. Even if it's a small thing, what can you give back?
Absolutely. No, it just shows how important blockchain can be going forward as well. Are there any particular use cases that you're seeing that are proving to be valuable?
Of course. And so, first of all, blockchain is a disruptor. For those who don't understand or know about blockchain, so one of the key things with blockchain technology is a distributed ledger. public distributed ledger. And so I touched upon accessibility, but the other three key areas of blockchain that people like about it is that it's transparent. It's transparency, because you're able to see that public ledger, right? And so that data, and also it's trackable and traceable. When something is trackable and traceable, and it also removes the middleman, what that does, it increases efficiency, because I don't have to go through anyone to acquire that data. I don't have to pay anyone to acquire that data, right? So when it creates efficiencies, that means it makes it more cost effective as well. And so this is why businesses are looking at blockchain technology and wanting to utilize it into their business. Okay, now, as I touched upon, it's a disruptor in every industry you can think of: legal, education, supply chain. When you think, particularly when you think about supply chain, there's always different intermediaries, gatekeepers, right? You have the consumer. So what do I mean by that? So the consumer, they might want to know the provenance of that asset or that product that they've created. You know, many times we're told, oh, this is sourced from this place in this part of the world and it's ethically sourced. But how do we really actually know? How can we check the data to see what the supply chain was? You can do that with blockchain. So you've got the consumers, then you've got the corporates, and corporates are businesses as well, SMEs, right? And with that, you may want to, corporates are looking to reduce costs. And so they're looking at how can we do that? And they're using blockchain technology to see how they can reduce costs by accessing data, and also by utilizing the fact that you don't need a middle person in order to access whatever it is that they want to access, or their products or service they want to use. And a lot of banks, so we talk about use cases, just look, for me, use cases are great, but whoever's listening, I'm speaking to you right now, whatever industry you're in, Google blockchain and use cases for your industry so that you can see. And then even if you're not finding anything, then reach out to me, because I probably know someone who is working in your space and doing something with blockchain, because blockchain is the future of business, of money, of career, and also social engagement. Okay, so Threads has just been launched, and Mark Zuckerberg has talked about it being decentralized. Now, let's be real, Facebook Meta is never really going to be truly decentralized, but he understands the concept, and he's using that as a premise to show what can be done with social media, right? And so just listen. Or I always say, take a time to review the environment in which you are building, working, and that you're working and creating in, right? Listen and watch. Don't just listen to what people say to you, watch, right? Because sometimes people they'll say, don't do what I do, do what I say. But with blockchain technology, you do what people are doing, right? You watch what they're doing. And then you've got crypto. So that's another perspective we look at. Now, we don't promote crypto trading, but we talk about what crypto stands for, okay? Mm-hmm. And so again, that's decentralized. And that's one of the biggest use case studies when you look at Bitcoin technology and how it has created, millionaires, not just here in the wealthy West, but also in emerging economies. And when we look at the fact how it's disrupted, for example, remittance, people sending money. Why? It's quicker, it's easier, it's transparent, right? Lots of people don't have IDs, right, or passports to be able to go to Western Union and say, hey, this is who I am. My friend has just sent me some money from the wealthy West. So what happens to those people? There's a lot of unbanked people in the world, right? So what happens to those people? And so, when you think again about blockchain and use cases, don't think also about it from your perspective, i.e. I'm in a wealthy West or wherever you are, or I'm in a wealthy, privileged position, so I can't see the use cases. Look at it from a wider perspective, because we live in a world where our actions impact other parts of the world, and other people's actions impact our part of the world. So, we have to think more globally rather than just locally when we think about these emerging technologies. So, there's a lot of creative use cases with NFTs and metaverse. And then the last one, and I never can remember the fifth one. So you're going to have to contact me and I'll tell you what the fifth one is.
Sure thing. That's right. That's great. Thank you. There's great points and great use cases there for sure. Now, looking at gender diversity, boosting gender diversity in this space, what opportunities are there from your view, your experience, for women to use, apply, and shape blockchain technology?
Well, the opportunities are endless, simply because it is disrupting many industries, right? When we look at blockchain, I'll just touch quickly about legal. And so when we look at legal, we can use blockchain use cases for the providence of chain, the chain link of documentations, putting documentations. Of course, it wouldn't be public, it would be private, or a hybrid blockchain of documentations, signatures that once they're signed, it's then recorded on the blockchain so everybody can see, right? And so I was speaking at the University of East London a few weeks back, and ultimately, the students were asking the same question: what are the opportunities? Now, the first thing I want to say is that if you're looking at the blockchain space, again, as I've pre-mentioned, blockchain is the future of money, career, and businesses, and also social engagement, creativity, right? And so if you're unsure about what the possibilities are, join meetups, go to networking events, sign up for communities like mine, Women in Blockchain Talks. And I just want to say that, yes, I know this is a women's community, Women in IT, and Age Plus, but our community is open to all genders, okay? Our focus is just about creating the future leaders for women, because we don't want a repeat of what has happened and what is still happening. We want to lead from the front rather than chasing from behind, okay? But when you look at the blockchain, it's not just a technology, it's creating a business. And one has to look at it from the perspective of when the internet first came along 20, 30 years ago, who thought it would evolve in the way that it has? I'm sure whoever's listening right now, do you have a smartphone? How do you use a smartphone? Now, my question to you, are you going to be part of the solution that creates the apps that helps people for the future, or are you just going to be the consumer? Now, if you're just going to be the consumer, that's fine. But the question is there any time when you've used a product and you thought, that doesn't really align to who I am, or what I'm about, or the different perspectives of who I am, be it from an ethnicity, from a language, a culture, or from gender? So with blockchain technology, you can be part of the solution and the value proposition. Bring your value proposition, your perspective to the table. And that is what really excites me about blockchain technology, and there's many things that Women in Blockchain Talks are doing. So just to really answer your question directly, you can go into business development, operations, finance, entrepreneurship, development, product development, product promotions, marketing. I mean, everything you see in one industry or one business can be applied to blockchain technology, right? And because the company you work for could be blockchain orientated in regards to the product and the services, but business is business, and let's not forget that.
Absolutely. But we're all said. Thank you. Now, of course, Lavinia, you recently attended and participated in the recent Women in IT UK Summit back in May, discussing gender diversity and Web3. Would you be able to talk to us about your experience at the summit, and how important events like Women in IT are
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, these events are truly important. It brought a huge, a huge group of people together. There was some people I knew, some people I connected with, and I think it's a great opportunity for people to be exposed to what is going on in the IT space. Okay, we've got to keep up to date. We've got to keep our finger on the pulse. The key thing with blockchain and other emerging techs, and especially as we've seen with AI, it is moving at a rapid pace, right? And I, I do what I do because I love what I do, but I also want to be a role model to not only my nieces, but also to my nephew. Someone asked me, when do you start talking to children about these emerging technologies? And I said, you should start talking to them about it now. You don't have to be teaching them about it, but you can be talking about it. And because it's my world, I do talk to. They know what blockchain is. They know what crypto is. They know what a decentralized wallet is. Do they have practical, theoretical experience of it? No, because they just see what Auntie's doing, what Auntie talks about, right? But ultimately, it's for us to make sure that we are giving our children, male and female, non-binary, the building blocks so they can feel comfortable in this emerging tech space, and that they feel comfortable not only to build, but also to lead. And building doesn't just mean from a developer perspective, but building the ideas, right? Everybody has a role to play. Developers are not necessarily entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs are not necessarily developers. Hence why you come together, you come as a team, co-founders, and you build together. You're building the future together. And one of the reasons why I got into blockchain on a personal level was because I saw, because of that whole removing the middleman and the whole transparency, trackability, and traceability technology, and then I saw it interlinked with the UN's 19 SDGs, social, the Sustainable Development Goals. One of them for me is education, is financial equity, and gender diversity, of course, right? Those are my 3 ones in regards to those 19 SDGs. And I was like, how can blockchain be part of that solution? And there's a lot of people creating solutions, right, around the 19 SDGs. What does the 19 SDGs mean to you? Like, how can you add your value, and how could you see, or how do you see blockchain and emerging tech, or even just technology, creating solutions to those problems, right? So with that, these are the questions that need to be shared and asked. And what I found at the event, I mean, it was a great event, of course, well put together. The vibe was really, really great. And but I was really quite surprised at how many women, especially because it's tech, still didn't know about blockchain. They'd heard about it, but they didn't really know about it, and nor did they have a wallet. And a wallet, and you may say, well, why is a wallet so important? Because a wallet is your entry point into the world of decentralization, right? So your wallet is it's anonymous, but unless you want to buy crypto, and then you have to go through an exchange, just like you would need to buy the currency of a country you're going to, a foreign exchange, in order to purchase and transact in the world of decentralization. You need to purchase some form of crypto, right? And in order to do that, in the first instance, you have to go through a centralized exchange. But if you're just looking to enter the world to maybe download a free NFT where you don't need any crypto, then you just need a wallet, and that wallet ultimately is anonymous, right? And so that is your entry point into the world of decentralization. So I was really quite surprised at how many women weren't aware of that. So, one of the things that we do at Women in Blockchain Talks is we created a quiz. We are on a mission to onboard 50,000 women into blockchain, and but we don't want to just speak at people. We want people to kind of learn about it in a way that can move at their pace. It isn't overwhelming, and it's not too convoluted. It's interactive and not too convoluted in its language. So we created a quiz, and there's 5 avatars. You got your career pivoting Charlie, your diversity Delilah, your skeptic Sam, and so depending on the answers that you give, it will give you your avatar, and ultimately and then it will give you pointers of, these are the things that you need to look at, these are the things that you can do within our community to start your journey, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? You have to start from somewhere. So why not Women in Blockchain Talks?
That's brilliant. And now, just to round off, Lavinia, I suppose you sort of touched on this a little bit and in the previous response. What's next on the horizon for Women in Blockchain Talks?
Yeah, we've got lots on the horizon. Again, we're still on the mission to onboard 50,000 women into blockchain by the end of this year, but it may be extended to March, International Women's Day, because it just makes it nice, International Women's Day. And we're looking to host a Women in Blockchain Summit for International Women's Day. We have the quiz, so please get involved with the quiz. Please share. We also have our membership coming up, which, you know, we have the free community, but of course, if you want more, if you're like, yeah, I'm on this, I want to go, we've got that offering. And then the last thing that we're really excited about is that we've got a hackathon coming up. And a hackathon is that place again where you can bring your entrepreneurial ideas and then you match with a developer or someone else with a different skill, and then you work on an idea. And that idea basically, you know, the hackathon, is going to be only 3 days long, but it's part of a bigger picture. So if you are interested in blockchain, if you want to know more and you just kind of want to get your feet wet and be practical about it, then definitely take our quiz, get involved in our community, join our mailing list, check out our website, and just basically follow us so we can share with you all the exciting stuff we've got coming up, including a hackathon.
Amazing. We'll be sure to keep an eye out for those developments. Very exciting stuff. Lavinia, thank you very much for your time and valuable insights today, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.